The new episode finally came out, and that episode immediately became one of my favorite episodes of all time, as finally we saw the best and most sussy female character in the history of the series. Of course, I have a lot of questions for this nice lady as she makes even the toughest guys go crazy. But we will talk about it later in the video. In general, this episode was mind-blowing as the amount of detail in this episode is just off the charts. But don't worry, since in this video I will try to find all possible details and secrets, and we will definitely have something to talk about. Since we finally found out the role of the chair in the series, and also the secret agent made a big step towards the alliance, which saved some lives for a while. But I have even more interesting news. And what if I tell you that Plungerman and Dark Speaker Man may return to the series and soon? And I'm not kidding, because there were important details in this episode that prove it. You'll also learn more about TV men who may not be who we think they are, because the guys showed their real face in this episode. But I have to tell you that we paid a big price to get this episode, because Bro Steak had to say goodbye to his eyebrows because Boom told him if he didn't shave his eyebrows, then the episode won't come out. And I'm not gonna lie, it was crazy.
I literally shaved my eyebrows to make this episode come out. Boom just told me, he said, if you shave your eyebrows, I'll post the episode, so he posted it.
But Bloodsteak didn't let us down, so let's give him some respect for that. Hello friends, you're on the channel. Subscribe to the channel and press the like button under the video to speed up the release of the next video. And let's go. Let's start the video with a description that says, cameramen attempt to escape city. And as I assumed, it's a small rescue operation led by TV agents. The episode started with a scientist cameraman who with his bro Strider destroyed some ASTRO toilets in part 1. Then we finally saw one of the TV agents who for some reason said, forget about them, they're useless. And initially I didn't understand who he meant. At first I thought he was talking about these dead ASTRO. But since he took the body and while he was saying these words, he looked at the cameramen, and I suspect he was saying that the cameramen are useless. And he was saying this to another TV man, and the following phrases will confirm this. As we saw another TV man who also told the TV woman to stop worrying about this useless trash.
Stop worrying about this useless trash.
But you could see from her face that she was sorry for the cameramen who were killed. And that means that she has a heart unlike her friends. But the last dude literally shocked me because he even used his powers to try to hypnotize the cameraman and said, stay back, fodder.
Stay back, fodder. Samples more important.
And I'm really shocked at how these freaking dudes behave. They literally think that cameramen are trash and fodder for toilets. And I feel sorry for these cameramen because they are not guilty of anything. And even though they are weak, they don't give up and try to fight and take all the damage on themselves. And it's easy to say such words to those who have never fought and hid in their base all the time. And after that, I began to suspect that the TV agents are not what they say they are. And it seems to me that they are aliens like ASTRO toilets. I know it sounds crazy, but the way they behave makes us realize that they are a more advanced race. And if you remember, I had a theory that on this poster we see the destroyed city of the TV agents, because I think they're also aliens. And I'll also remind you that YouTuber Fordell asked Boom something related to one of the races, as he asked, will we learn something unexpected that changes the way we think about one of the Alliance races? To which Boom replied, maybe, and there can be only two options. Either it's the TV men or he means a new race that will appear in the future, because I personally believe in it very much. But I again start to suspect the TV race because in this episode they started to show their true face. It's also suspicious that they don't let other agents get into their base and try to hide what's there, and they don't share technology with them. But anyway, they are on our side for now, and I hope they will continue to help the Alliance as they can't win this war on their own. But in this moment, there is something else interesting. And it is a strange plant that we see not for the first time, and the chair that's supposed to save the world. But the chair and the plant are very important duo, so we'll talk about them a little later. But a very sad music started to play which literally tore my heart as if these cameramen were left alone against all in this world. One poor guy was left without a hand. Another looked at his friend like saying, what should we do? By the way, in the background is the same poor toilet that was rammed by the ASTRO toilet in the last episode. But it wasn't as bad as I thought, as the large cameraman told the guys to come up to him and then showed them a tablet on which we saw a large TV man who also started bullying other agents as he said, come on imbeciles, before they find us again. And I didn't expect that Bro is as much of an asshole as his friends, although he seemed to be a good guy to me before. Also note that the number of this cameraman is 113. But before we saw the large TV agent who wanted to save the cameramen, we saw some map and the inscription Grid, 988 Alpha, and it is probably the name of this area, and also we see red signs that indicate the targets on this map. By the way, I remembered that in the 68th episode there was a similar map, but if you compare it still looks like these are different locations, or it is the same location, just the photo was taken from a different distance. But you should check out this dude's moonwalk. Bro literally floats on air and definitely feels like Michael Jackson. Well, the speakermen are dancing as usual, and sometimes I think that no matter what happens to this planet, the dudes will keep chillin'. And it's cheering up even in these dark times for agents. And then the large cameraman showed the guys where they need to go to get saved. And another funny moment as the POV cameraman threw the armless cameraman into the cab. And after everyone loaded into the cab toilet, one of the Astro toilets appeared. And Rambo and Strider started fighting. And at this time, the agents went to the roof while fighting off small enemies. And so far, everything went well enough, and they managed to get out on the bridge, and even one of the surviving cameramen successfully landed in the cab. But now comes the important moment, as one of the toilets tried to stop them but was hit by some green laser. But right at this moment, it is impossible to understand what it was. But when the guys continued their way, another Astro appeared. And already here, if we slow down the video, we can clearly see that it's a freaking chair. A goddamn glitch chair. There is no way, bruh. I can't believe my eyes that this chair is actually going to save this planet. And I've said it many times that we shouldn't underestimate this chair, and that Boom wasn't trolling us. The chair literally smashes all Astro toilets in its path. I wouldn't be surprised if the plant does the same. And even though it's crazy, I like it. But the funny thing is that this chair leaves behind a green energy which is used by only one character in the show. And that's the secret agent. And of course the chair works for the secret agent who really started to help the Alliance as he realized that he needed to use all his powers to defeat Astro. But why the heck do the plant and the chair move by themselves as if they have consciousness? Actually, it's really obvious because it's a reference to the fact that Plungerman and Dark Speakerman will soon return to the show. The chair represents Plungerman in the glitch toilet, and the plant represents the Dark Speakerman. It's hard to say how the plant represents him, but there was an important moment in episode 76 part 1 with the chair and the plant that I realized. The plant and the chair were reaching out to each other like it was in episode 70 when the guys were dying. I don't know if it will come true or not, but I believe that our guys will definitely come back. And it was a clue because it can't be that Boom just made the chair smashes the enemies just like that. Then the guys continued on their way as suddenly out of nowhere an Astro toilet fell down. Also on the building you can see a sign Duchetel Sugar Co. By the way, this is a map from the game Left 4 Dead 2. And as you can see, Boom has reworked it quite well. And when we were waiting for one of the episodes, Boom said that he spent a lot of time preparing locations for the new episodes. And now I know what he was talking about. But also pay attention here because there is a chair. And I'm starting to think that maybe there are several such chairs, like a chair squad. It sounds wild, but the chair is absolutely everywhere. But still, I believe that the chair is only one, and it can easily move around the location because it has crazy speed. But also pay attention to this new Astro. Such a dude we have not seen yet, and he looks like some kind of driller. But we will come back to him as the agents are in danger because the bro released a dangerous energy ball that will definitely blow away everything in its path. But the agents were lucky as all the damage was taken by the poor toilet, and I really feel sorry for this dude. And he and the cameraman asked for help, but unfortunately they were destroyed by the second attack. But the surviving agents had to run with all their might to save their lives. But suddenly someone shot at the bridge, destroying it. But during the Astro Destructor destroying the bridge, we can again see a chair heading towards him. And it is clearly visible during the explosion, and if you slow down the video you can see it moving. And maybe the chair wanted to stop the enemy. But probably this Astro was too strong even for the chair, and the chair disappeared somewhere. And after the blast, we saw other agents who were hiding inside the building. But hardly they could hide for long as Astros can look through walls. Well, I'm not sure if all Astros can do that, but I'm sure that Astros in masks like Juggernaut can look through walls, and maybe it's a feature of their helmet. After that, we met an Astro Destructor and a strange Astro Strider, which has a funny core in the form of a drill. And trying to escape the agents bumped into another Astro. And at this point, you can see a secret agent in the window of the building who is watching the situation. And it's really strange that we don't see a chair around here. To be honest, the topic of the chair is very complicated and delicate, so I hope I will tell you the theories in the next video. But we saw another mutant who seemed very familiar to me because he looks like that dude who was in episode 51. But it's unlikely that Bro was resurrected, so it's the dude from episode 74, and there were several of them. And one of the toilets was ready to accept his fate. And did anyone even notice that dude looks a hell of a lot like Tommy Shelby? Bro was fearless to the end, and Mommy ended his journey. And yes, we finally get to see the Astro Duchess, and she's perfect. But she also has crazy powers because she can literally magnetize anything with one of her 4 tentacles. And it took her 1 second to blow Tommy's head off. Poor Tommy, we won't forget you. But the cameraman was also brave and also accepted his fate, and the Duchess magnetized the poor guy with her tentacle. But she didn't kill him instantly, because there was some brave toilet who wasn't afraid to attack her. And Mommy literally wiped him out along with the cameraman with the help of some concentrated energetic charge. Not gonna lie, the Duchess is too beautiful and powerful to resist her. Also note that in addition to her tentacles, she has mechanical claws like the Astro Commanders, and is probably related to him in some way. And she started playing with the cameraman as she absorbed his attack and then took away his weapon. And to be honest, she has similar abilities to the Astro Claw, as it can also absorb any energy attacks and she has tentacles. But still, I think she is much stronger than him. And she started bringing the cameraman to her, and finally we saw her up close. And she's incredibly beautiful that I even wanted to be friends with her. And she has different signs on her face. And it seems to me that she is some kind of witch, because I tried to look for such symbols, and what I got is information about all kinds of rituals and magic and also maybe control, and agree that she really looks like a witch. But it is unlikely that we will see something like that in this series. So I think that it is connected with control and with her high rank. But her rank is not the highest if you look at the other ranks in the feudal system. And as you can see, dukes and duchesses are one of the highest noble ranks, but it's still only in 5th place. And if you consider that Boom really relies on such ranks, so there are more important guys in the army than her. But that doesn't make her weak, as I'm sure she can beat most of the characters in the series. And maybe she controls the other low-level toilets. But strangely enough, she has a collar, but is not the same as the other toilets. Their collar is literally the same as the ones in movies and games that blow up the head if the target breaks any rules. But her spiked collar looks more like jewelry, and maybe she wears it for no reason, since this character is in the Gothic style, and people who love the Gothic style often wear jewelry like this. Or maybe she is also under someone else's control. Maybe she is controlled by a high-level toilet or directly under the Emperor. About symbols, I think guys like Astro Claw, Juggernaut, Mothership, and other high-level characters also have similar symbols, but we can't see them because of their helmets, or they are on other parts of their body. So we will know more about this only in the future. By the way, I'm shocked at the quality of her face. It's like she was made in Unreal Engine, and it's insane. Bro is blowing up SFM with his crazy facial detailing. And I was enjoying looking at her face, but suddenly Bro showed the wrong finger, so she smirked and ripped his arm off for it. And then ripped off his other arm and torso. And Bro couldn't resist it. And we saw a strange white liquid coming out of his body. But it wasn't really what you think it was. And Boom said that he didn't really plan for us to see it, and it was supposed to be a different color. But as always, SFM fails at the right moment, and it's not supposed to be in the full episode, so let's just forget about it. And then she softly said skibidi. But out of nowhere, another brave dude came along who was also ready to end his journey right here and now. And I'm surprised that the toilets are so crazy, and that they always fight to the end. Sometimes it's stupid, but sometimes it can bring them win. So respect to that dude. But what surprised me is that she activated the shield without even looking, and I suspect that her shield works passively. And maybe there is some invisible barrier around her, and when something extra hits that barrier, the shield activates instantly, because I don't see any other explanation for it. And after this sneak attack, Mommy went crazy and changed her face and started cooking that dude with all her lasers and even lasers from her eyes. And it's crazy. 5 seconds ago, she was the sweetest girl ever, and now she's turned into a demon. And I also noticed that her disc on her head starts spinning faster depending on how much energy she uses to attack. And if she tries to attack with his full arsenal, the disc goes crazy. And I don't think she can stay in that state for too long. And after the toilet was cooked, she calmed down and her disc began to spin more slowly. But suddenly there was a UFO toilet that started yapping in skibidi. And it seemed to me that he gave her an order because he yapped all the time about something. And she was silent, and only at the end she agreed. Like he said that she should know and whether she understood the order. And she said that she understood or that she would complete the task. And it's weird for me because I thought UFO toilet was just a rat. But he probably passed her an order from someone higher ranked. And then Mommy left us and the other toilets started destroying everything that was left. And in the corner, we saw a message about critical damage, which means that this cameraman is dying. And on a sad note, this epic and mind-blowing episode ended. I'm not gonna lie, this episode was one of the best for me because there were so many details and secrets, and now we can build our theories. So write your theories and see you in the new video.